What is going on, Fins fans? Whew. Did we barely get that one? But hey, sometimes you got to win the ugly ones, right? Sometimes you got to take care of those wins that are ugly and that you're not going to like the way they look. And that's what we did today. Or Sunday, I should say. Welcome. This is the Finscast podcast. My name is George, and let's get to this. Of course, your Miami Dolphins win against Jacksonville here at home, a 20-17 victory. Jason Sanders making that 52-yard clutch field goal at the end. Let's get to it. That first half was absolutely horrible. I mean, I don't even, what other way can we put it than that? That was pitiful. That was really bad. Jaguars take a strong start. You were down 14. It felt like almost immediately. Brian Thomas was just running all over you, just catching here and there. Travis Etienne was also having a good first half. And defense struggled, offense struggled. It was bad, right? We got some points on the board, and that kind of felt, okay, maybe we can turn this around. Maybe we can do something here. But yeah, that first half was rough. And then the third quarter came around, and that's when, man, it really felt like the ties just changed. I don't know if the players just got their legs under them. I don't know if it was changes that were made by the coaching staff. I don't know. You know, we've heard reports that Tua had a very impassioned speech that he gave to the team where he called people out by name and said, "Hey, we gotta get this done, man." And maybe that was part of it, right? Maybe there were just, listen, we have this issue with the NFL where if you take a look at pretty much everyone underperformed this week, right? There was no standout awesome teams this week. And I think it's the lack of playing time in the preseason. That's going to hurt, it's going to take, 2 weeks for everyone to get their legs under them. And that might be what it was. That third quarter was great. The game really, really turned around when Jevon Holland had that punch out, that fumble at the end. I felt like if Etienne would have scored there, yikes, I think that's game over right there. But I feel like that really turned around. Jevon Holland, I mean, pay that man his money, right? We've been waiting. We've been saying, hey, can he make the big plays? Can he make the big plays? Man, that's as big time as a play as ever. And I know, listen, it's the first week, and it's week one, right? But these are the games that, listen, I've been a lifelong Dolphins fan, 20 plus years watching this team just break my heart year after year. I actually left. I was a fan of another team because I just couldn't do it anymore. I'm sure you guys will give me bleep over that, but it is what it is, right? It's the reality of the fact. And the Dolphins don't win that game. The Dolphins of old don't win that game. The Dolphins of old lose that game every single time. So it feels like maybe this is different. Who knows? It's probably just me being a Dolphins fan, and this is our year, right? We'll see. But the game really turned around on that Jevon Holland punch out. We get the ball back, and literally on the very next play, to that unbelievable dime. Again, we've seen this over and over and over again. Tua connects Tyreek Hill 80 yards to the house. Then we get that awesome celebration at the end with him and Waddle. Yeah, that was awesome. The fourth quarter was, man, that was hard to watch. It was nerve-wracking, right? I was scared. I'm not man enough to admit that. I'm not scared enough to admit that, I should say. Jason Sanders ties it at 17, 36, it was 36-yard field goal with 4 minutes left. He missed a big one before that might have, that one might not have even, or the one at the end might not even mattered if he would have made that. But he did. So be it. Dolphins defense really stepped up, man. God, that was amazing. I mean, if you look at the the breakdown of Trevor Lawrence. And I'm not a big Trevor Lawrence guy. I think he's severely overrated. I think Tua is a much better quarterback than he is. I feel like we want Trevor Lawrence to be really good, but he's just not that great. He's good, not great. Yeah, he just wasn't good. Wasn't good down the line. It was just punt after punt after punt, turnover on downs. Dolphins stepped up big, two sacks on consecutive plays. I still can't believe that was just awesome. That was just awesome. Two leading that drive, 8 plays, 31 yards, with the final 2 minutes to go to set up that game winning field goal. I would have wished they got a little closer, but hey, listen, that's Mike McDaniel just having faith in his kicker. I have no faith in anything, again, as a lifelong Dolphins fan, but it is what it is. Jason Sanders makes that field goal, and the rest is written. Let's go over, just my thoughts on the game. Tua, let's start with Tua, because obviously that's the quarterback. That's the main attraction here. Tua had a slow start, man. Tua was just did not look good that first half. Just so you know, I'm one of the biggest Tua fans you will find. I don't understand. I mean, actually, let me not say I don't understand. I understand why he gets the bleep that he gets, right? I understand why he is not believed in, right? I do think the Brian Flores situation really, really hindered him. And I don't know why. This guy's been amazing. Just look at what he did in college, man. And it's not like he was playing at some rinky-dink little college where he was playing in front of 12 people. He was playing at Alabama. I mean, at the biggest school you can, maybe ever. Playing in front of huge crowds, playing huge games. And man, I just think he's been really good. Slow start, obviously. He missed a bunch of throws that he typically doesn't miss. He missed some high, he missed some to the sides. It wasn't too, and again, hopefully it's not a harbinger, for things to come. Hopefully it's just, just getting his legs under him. Practice is not the same as real game speed, but obviously there's only one way to find out. So we'll find out. That deep throw to Tyreek in the first, I think it was the first quarter that he had Tyreek wide open. That's an easy touchdown. He makes that throw every single time. And I think now we have to worry about Tua's arm being too strong. Or maybe not. Listen, I thought this season we were going to see a very different Tua, in the sense that I think he's going to take off and run a little bit more. This putting the bubble wrap on the quarterback thing has to end, right? I get it. I understand the concussion situation and all that. Okay, he got his contract, and now he's got his money, and now it's time for him to win. Getting that first down was, that just take off. I don't need you to be Lamar Jackson. That's not what we need Tua to be. He is much better passer than the mobile quarterbacks are. I just need him to be able to get that 3rd and 2, that 3rd and 3, that 2nd and 3, where the field opens up completely in front of you. And last year he was hesitant. Obviously, that's no surprise to anyone. He was completely hesitant, and I don't know if it was hesitant on his part, right? If he was the one that was hesitant to take off, or maybe the coaches were telling him, hey, you know what? Do not run. Check it down, throw it out of bounds. I don't know. Obviously, we'll never know. But it looks like this season, let me not say it looks like, because it was actually 2 runs. One of them was negated by a penalty, and that one was a nice run too. Again, we don't need him to rush for 50 yards. We don't need him to be Josh Allen and takes, and do what he does, or Lamar Jackson. We just need him to just get, 10 yards of rushing a game, and that'll be amazing, because it's something that we were missing last year. But I think Tua at the end was he was Tua, right? That ball to Tyreek, that ball to Waddle. Man, it's fun to watch when it is. And please, for God's sake, stop throwing it to Jerome Smythe. Full stop. Mike McDaniel, let's go over Mike McDaniel. Man, I'm still frustrated. With his play calling. I cannot believe that game 1 we're still taking timeouts, because the play call isn't being sent in on time. God, how's that still happening? I love Mike McDaniel. Again, I'm a big Mike McDaniel stan, but God, get that play in quick. Let's go. Those first, the first 20 plays or so are always scripted. And God, that was you had the whole offseason to script a drive, and that's what you did. These little screens and these little bubble passes and whatnot. Listen, I get it. First game, I give everyone a pass, right? I think we'd be doing a much different podcast if they lost, but it is what it is. The offense was terrible in the first half. Obviously, we all know that, but they were much better in the second half. So adjustments were made, or again, they got their legs under them. We'll see. The run was almost non-existent. I don't know if that was play calling. I don't know if it was offensive line woes, but I guess we'll see going forward. I do want to see them run the ball more often. I think that's going to be a big, important part of our game. So let's see what happens there. The defense, it's a tale of two halves, man. That first half was absolutely terrible in every way, shape, and form. The second half was amazing. They really clamped down on what's supposed to be a good team. Again, I'm not a Jags fan. I don't think they're going to be, again, good, not great. I'm not a big Trevor Lawrence fan. I don't think he's that great either. But that was awesome. Jalen Ramsey there was just a couple of plays, and maybe I'll roll them here, but that play where it was 3rd and 1 on their 20, I believe, and God, what a stupid, what are you doing? Why are you going for that? And that stop where he goes from the right side of the field all the way to the left side of the field to stop. If I remember correctly, it was Etienne. God, that was awesome. That was awesome. He was supposed to be on a pitch count. When we look at his actual, amount of times he was on the field, it didn't seem like it. I think it was like 70%, if I remember, if memory serves correct. So, yeah, I just Ramsey was great. Jevon Holland is just awesome. Again, pay that man his money. Just come on, let's get this over with. Obviously, we've paid everyone else. So, D-line, the D-line wasn't bad. I don't think we didn't give up a ton of rush. Seeing the guys out there, Calais Campbell was awesome. The D-line is not something I'm particularly worried about. I know there's some rumblings of some guys that are worried about it. I think it's going to be fine. Jalen Phillips and Sealer, and then remember in a couple games we'll have Chubb back. So that's going to be great. So the defense was awesome. I think it was a great game for Anthony Weaver. That second half was just phenomenal. They really clamped down, and I don't think we could have asked for any more in that sense. Obviously, we could have asked for a better first half, but the second half was really good. The offense, like I mentioned before, Smythe, come on, dude. 3 drops. I think it was only credited for 2, but you got to catch those, and those could have really changed the way the offense plays when you get those short yardage situations that can really change the game. So listen, again, first game, we'll see. I was a little disappointed in the tight end play. I really thought Jonnu was going to be a lot more involved, but again, we'll see. Waddle was awesome. Tyreek was awesome. You know that. Listen, the offensive line wasn't that bad. I think they gave up 3 sacks, but one of them I blame on Tua. That was a dumb sack to take, in my opinion, especially with, you were in field goal range and then you got out of field goal range because of this. So offensive line was fine. I looked at some of the film on the All-22 and the center, just some nice stops there. Maybe they're going to be fine. I feel like every team's offensive line is something that they're worried about. I don't know. Again, game 1, we'll see. And last, I'll leave you with special teams. The punter was amazing, man. I know if we're talking about a punter, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but God, he was great. and Jason Sanders ended up winning the game for us, but he missed that previous one that would have pretty much negated the game winner. Again, you don't know how the game plays out at that point, but it was a good game overall. I mean, the game was fun. It wasn't a boring game by any stretch of any imagination. And we'll see. Now we have the Bills coming up. We have Josh Allen. I will do a podcast going over, kind of a preview of that Thursday night game. I don't know, man. I don't know. I know we do this every single year, and I feel like I've done this for 1,000 years now. This team just feels different, man. That situation with Tyreek before the game, I don't want to get into, that situation. That's for everyone else to discuss. But that's the type of situation where it can go two ways, right? That can be a bad omen, and the team can just dismantle from there. Or it could be something that we look back and say, man, that's what really brought this team together. Seeing how Calais Campbell stopped, Jonnu Smith stopped. Now there's, OBJ was there as well. And it seems like and these are three guys that haven't been on this team for very long at all. And to see them stick together, this could be one of those things that we look back on in week 15, 16, 17 and say, man, that really brought them together. I don't have to tell you how important this Bills game is to win. Mark Kelly, I think, says it correctly. The Bills are our daddies, and until we beat them, they're going to be. And I think they're severely beatable. I do think. I don't see it the same way I didn't see it with the Jets. I have no idea why anyone thought that team was going to be was going to be great or maybe good, just because of the talent they have. But the Bills lost a lot. And I don't think we've made enough of it. Can Allen make up for that? I don't know. Maybe, you couldn't find a bigger Josh Allen disliker, right? Obviously I don't know the man personally, and he seems like actually seems like a pretty cool guy, which kind of sucks because I hate him, but he seems like a pretty likable guy, but I hate him as a player. And can we finally, take care of the Bills? I don't know. Well, we'll see. We'll see. Yeah. So that's it. Big game. I think every game is in a big game. I really want to see the Dolphins really take a step forward this season, and we shall see. Look out for the next podcast. It should be up. I'm going to try to do it maybe today or tomorrow. And let's see a preview of the Bills. Let's see what we can do. What are what the keys to the game are going to be, and let's go, man. Fins up.